Honda Civic FK8 Type R Decat downpipe. So this Decat downpipe is specific for the FK8 Civic Type R for stock turbos, and will fit the stock front pipe or flex pipe, cat pipe, whatever you want to call it, for the stock, and should be any aftermarket exhaust systems that fit to the stock primary downpipe. If you've seen the Honda Civic Cat, you'll know it's tucked in quite tight against the turbo, and there's a heat shield which runs over the top of it. So we want to retain that if we can, because it's a really good feature. That heat shield kind of covers the manifold, turbo, and the down elbow of the downpipe. So we're able to do that, but it means that we need to create a really tight radius coming out of the turbo flange. So we've done that with some pie cuts. We've kind of tightened that radius up, keep things nice and shallow. Given that we are wanting to reduce the centerline radius quite a lot, we need to increase the internal volume here, because we've kind of reduced the flow of the bend as such. So we've increased it to 3.5 inch diameter, which is, you know, more than big enough for, you know, whatever kind of power output you can get out of a stock or hybrid turbo, which I would imagine is somewhere around 500 at the max with a hybrid. Yeah, so there's more than enough room in there for that kind of gas flow, and then it reduces down to 3 inch at this flange, and again the flange is full bore size, so there's no internal restrictions, no internal welding or anything there, and it's fully surfaced flat, so that you can get a nice good seal against the stock flex pipe. Billet turbo flange, so this is machined from one single piece of stainless steel, and it's got the recess in it for the turbo like it should have, and we also recess the inside where we put our tube into. We do that just to make sure that we can get a really nice seamless fit between flange and tube. One other advantage of having the machine is that we can get all the edges cleaned up and kind of make it something pretty, given that it'll be one of the parts you see in the engine bay. Even with the heat shield over the top, you can still see that nice billet flange, and once it gets some heat into it, it'll go golden, and it'll start to look really cool. So fully TIG welded, as with all of our parts. We've got the Boss on here for that heat shield that I talked about, just an M8 Boss on there, and the two O2 sensors. We haven't extended out this secondary O2 sensor. Obviously the Cat would normally be in here. We've removed that, and one thing that a lot of the aftermarket downpipes do is they extend that O2 sensor out of the way of the airflow. We haven't done that because you can use a sensor spacer if you want, or if you're having the car remapped, which you probably should be if you're fitting a Decat downpipe, you can have that sensor mapped out. So there really is no need to take that secondary sensor out of the gas flow specifically. It's fully TIG welded and back purged, so as you can see, it's got some nice welds showing through on the inside there. That's really key for reliability. This part will see a lot of heat. Being the first part of the exhaust system right off the turbo, on a track or any kind of hard driving, this is the part that's going to see the most amount of abuse in the exhaust system. This is the part that's going to get the hottest. Obviously the rest of the exhaust system, the gas will cool down as it travels down the exhaust. So this is really, other than the manifold, where it's at its hottest. So if we're going to get weld failures, it's going to be here, which is why it's really important, that we TIG weld and back purge, not just weld, not just TIG weld, but to make sure it's back purged as well. That way the weld is as perfect on the outside as it is on the inside. So there's definitely some gains to be had with these. I can't really quote any figures because it really varies car to car and how you're going to test it, but not just power gains but noise gains as well. So for track cars, this is definitely a must.